Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. If you're new, my name is Sarah. Welcome. So today we are going to make some canned peach salsa. We tried fresh peach salsa earlier this summer, fell in love. It's one of our favorite things. And so we thought we would like to can some. Wasn't 100% sure how we would like the texture of it since it's cooked. And so I actually made a batch a couple of days ago. And y'all, this stuff is really good. So we're going to make a second batch of this. And I thought I'd bring you guys along for that. The first thing I need to do is get my peaches scored on the top and bottom, and then we're going to blanch them for a minute in some boiling water. Once they've blanched, pop them in some ice water and let them cool before we peel them. So while I'm doing that, I thought I would show you guys some footage from when I went to the local orchard. I love this place. It's called Isom's, and if you're in North Alabama, it's fantastic. They built a new building this year and they just have so many things that you can get. So I'm going to work on this and you guys take a peek at Isom's orchard. One of the things I love that they have added is they have a you pick flower patch. It's all these different colors of zinnias. And then back there you can see they have a gorgeous sunflower field. It is beautiful right now. And they actually let photographers come out and do photos. So that's pretty cool. Plus you can pick sunflowers as well. Isn't this building so nice? They really needed a bigger area because they were always so busy. But I love this big red barn. Canning tomatoes. Look at the sunflowers. Aren't they lovely? If you're not a gardener yourself and you live in North Alabama, this is the place to come. Look at all this okra, the beautiful summer squash. These 8-ball ones are fun. The peaches look fantastic today, and I need 3 of these, so I'm very happy they have plenty. I am not in the market, but watermelons are buy one, get one today. Nice. The grapes are lovely. They actually do you pick grapes as well, which is fun. I love that they have all of these homegrown tomatoes and sweet potatoes, but they know there's a market for the heirlooms, so these have these big, beautiful, kind of gnarly looking tomatoes too. If you're not like me and like to can, they also have lots of different jams and jellies and stuff. This is interesting. Jalapeno peach nectarine. That's kind of cool. Blackberry peach. That's not a flavor I've ever thought of before. Nectarine jam. Ooh, blackberry jalapeno and blackberry peach jalapeno. Man, they're giving me all kinds of ideas. Pepper jelly. They have their own raw honey as well, which I love. And I can't have them, but y'all, a couple days a week, they make homemade donuts. These look like strawberry donuts today. Got 3 beautiful baskets of peaches, and we're gonna get these loaded up in the car and go home and can some peaches. Someday I'll figure out my own peach tree and how to take care of it, but I'm grateful that I can get local peaches when I haven't quite figured out how to take care of my tree yet. I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip around the orchard shop. And now we're ready to pull our peaches out of the hot water. So we'll just let these cool for a few minutes till they're handleable and then we'll peel them. Our peaches have been cooling and I already peeled one. I'm hoping they're all going to peel really nicely. When I made the batch the other day, they did not want to peel for me and I actually had to use a paring knife. That just happens sometimes when your peaches are a little bit underripe, which one of the recipes for canning peach salsa actually says that's preferable. So I use those slightly underripe peaches for this first batch of salsa, but it took a lot longer having to use the paring knife to peel the peaches. These are peeling perfectly today, so I'm very happy about that. Our peaches are all peeled, and so the first thing I need to do before I get to chopping is measure out half a cup of vinegar. Peaches can brown really quickly. They oxidize when you cut into them and react with the oxygen in the air. So the recipe recommends having our vinegar all measured out. And that way, once we chop our peaches, we can add them into our vinegar and get them tossed up and hopefully prevent that oxidation. So I got a new tool that I kind of forgot I got. I got it right before we went on our big family vacation. And you know how that goes, out of sight, out of mind. But I got one of these chopper tools at Aldi. It comes with different size chopper attachments. And the other day when I made the salsa, it took quite a while to chop up all the peaches. And so I thought, let's give the chopper tool a try. Hopefully, I'll really like how this works. Get that seed out of there. I guess technically it's a pit. Pits are seeds though, aren't they? And then we're gonna pop that in there. Oh yeah, that's nice. I think that I will probably end up using both sizes of the chopper tool, the two different chop pieces anyway, because some things I want a little bit finer. Like our recipe calls for jalapenos, and I would like those to be little bitty pieces. So I'm just gonna keep chopping my peaches up until we have 6 cups. When I made this the other day, I ended up with just slightly more than 6 cups from 6 peaches. And so I only blanched and peeled 6 peaches, and we'll see if that is enough today. If I need some more, then it won't be a big deal to heat the water back up and blanch another peach. I did need to chop up one more peach to get to my 6 cups today. So, you know, you'll just have to keep an eye on the size of your peaches, and maybe you need more, maybe you need less. But somewhere roughly around 1 peach per cup seems pretty close. So I'm stirring those all in to the vinegar. And now I'm going to work on some of my other ingredients. So we need 1 red bell pepper. I don't actually have red bell peppers. I have red roasting peppers. They're a little bit small, and some of mine have some spots that need to be cut off. So I'm actually going to use 2 of those to get to about the equivalent of what 1 bell pepper would be. And we are going to try this through the chopper too. I think it'd probably be just as easy to chop up the pepper, but I want to see how it works. A little bit of elbow grease required, but that was pretty easy. May have to chop this one in a couple of pieces. I'm definitely liking this chopper tool. A lot less of the repetitive chopping motion. I do find every once in a while stuff sticks a little. But otherwise, get these beautiful, nice, uniform pieces. I'm a fan. We'll see how I feel when I switch to the smaller size to do the jalapenos. So let's go ahead and do those now, because I have them sitting right here. So I have the smaller size that goes in, because I definitely don't want big chunks of jalapeno. And let's see. I washed my jalapeno tool. There we go. I mention this all the time, I feel like, but y'all, I love this jalapeno tool. It works so well for getting the ribs and seeds out. So if you've watched other videos and heard me talk about it, I'm sorry. But if you're new, the jalapeno tool is wonderful. I think I could probably do all of my jalapenos at once. This recipe calls for 4 jalapenos. I'm actually reducing that by 1. I did 2 the first batch because my jalapenos have been really hot this year, but it could have used just a little bit more heat. So we're gonna go with 3 today. I think 4 would be too much for us. We want to enjoy our salsa and not just feel the fire. Taking those ribs and seeds out helps a lot too with the heat, because that's where a lot of it is located. I'm not going to be able to fit all 3. Oh, this might not work. That's going to be sad. They're trying. I don't think this is going to go through, friends. Oh, it wants to. It really wants to. Oh, man. I don't want to break it. Okay. I don't want to cut myself on this stuff, but partway through. Here, let me show you guys. It's partway, it did get partway through. It's, I think, getting caught on the skin. That jalapeno skin is a little bit thicker. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's see if we can get this one to go through. Oh, I know what I maybe did wrong. I kind of have an end of the jalapeno that was a little bit thicker. Maybe that was preventing it from going. I think that might have been my problem. Let's see. I'm going to try and take that little bit off of this jalapeno that I have and see if that makes a difference going through the first time. It went. It definitely took some elbow grease for the jalapeno and this smaller chopper. But we have all these nice little uniform chopped up jalapeno bits, so I do like that. The next thing we need is 1.25 cups of chopped red onion. You guys might think it's weird that I'm doing this by hand, but I kind of like my onion to be chopped in between the sizes available with that chopper, and so I'd rather take the time to do this by hand. I will say though that it made a huge difference with the peaches, because if you have never chopped up peaches, they are very slippery and kind of slimy feeling and a little bit hard to hold on to. So that went so much faster. It might be worth it just for that. All right, so there's our 1.25 cups onions to add to our pot. We have 2 more fresh ingredients we're going to add to our pot before we get to our seasonings. So I have 1 clove of minced garlic here. I'm going to add that in. And then about 1/2 cup loosely packed cilantro chopped up. I just eyeballed that, but if you want to measure, you could. I just sort of figured loosely packed is kind of a loose term, you know. One person's loosely packed is not the same as another's. So now we are going to add some seasonings. We need 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. I hope I have enough. The recipe also calls for 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I personally feel like we are getting enough heat in our salsa from the jalapenos. So I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika instead. And then we need 2 tablespoons of honey. So I have 2 different ball canning books. And One of them was a fiery peach salsa that had habaneros in it. I don't have habaneros in my garden, so I opted for the one that just called for jalapenos. But that recipe also called for a cup of sugar, and that was just way too much for me in a salsa. I'm not a huge fan of sweet salsas, and so 2 tablespoons of honey was plenty for me. Now, I am going to add one more thing that the recipe does not call for. When I gave this a taste test when I was making it the other day, it needed some salt to help balance the sweet of the sweet peppers and the peaches and the honey. And so, even though it doesn't call for it, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. And I felt like that really helped balance the flavors a lot. Now, maybe you don't need it if you're going to eat it on things like tortilla chips or something, but we really liked it on salmon. And so I feel like the salt just helps balance the flavors better. So now we need to get this on the stove. We're going to bring it to a boil and then simmer it for 5 minutes. I do want to show you guys the salsa before it's had a chance to cook down because it's so beautiful. And I think if you just wanted to make this fresh, this would be delicious just like this. But cooking it is going to bring out all of these juices. You can see that's already starting to happen. And you're going to end up with a bit of a runnier product, but it's still really good. I think in the dead of winter, we're going to be really happy to have this. My salsa is simmering, and I thought I would show you guys because I didn't read the directions, and I probably should have. But this tool, this is all gridded to match the smallest size of the grid. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to get it clean, but it came with this little comb that fits through the grid and helps you get out little bits, because there were some little bits of jalapeno stuck in there and some bits of peach that I was having trouble getting out. This took care of them immediately. Read your directions, you guys. I'm bad about that sometimes when it comes to tools. But it says it's dishwasher safe for the top rack. So I think I'm going to do that because I'm not sure exactly how else I would get all of these little holes clean. I think it's most likely to get best sanitized in the dishwasher. Before we can our salsa up, I wanted to give you guys a look at it now so you can see how different it looks now that it's simmered for 5 minutes. So here you can see how much juicier it is. These peaches have put out a lot of their liquid. Time to get our salsa jarred up. I only got 7 jars last time. It said you should get around 8, so that's not shocking. I am sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as my jars are concerned. This one is from the Apple Barn in Sevierville, but it's a jelly jar and it works. So if I need it, we'll use it. But I have just used all of my half-pint jars this year. It's a good problem to have, but I'd rather not have to go buy more jars. Let's see my tool here. Get any air bubbles out. We'll get these all filled up. I did want to mention to you guys, when I canned this the other day, I was a little bit worried that I would run out of my superb lids here in the next week or so. I have a whole lot of canning going on. And so I found a box that I'd bought earlier this year when I was waiting on an order of lids that were ball lids I bought at the grocery store. And I thought I'm going to use those because typically they work better for me when I'm water bath canning than if I am pressure canning. So I used those lids and 3 out of 7 failed on me. I have had some problems with ball lids in the past, but never quite that high a ratio. I'm pretty sure you can guess I was not very happy about that. So I put one of them in the fridge so that we could actually try the salsa. Then the other 2 I reprocessed with my superb lids. So I don't know what the deal is, but Ball, if you have people watching canning videos, y'all need to get it together. Your products are starting to not be reliable, and that's a problem. But for you guys, if you're canning, I love Superb lids. I've had great luck with them. I also have had really good luck with the 4-jar lids. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so I'll tell you, they're both fantastic, and I never have problems. I think I had one 4-jar lid buckle on me one time, and that was because I over tightened my ring. It was totally a me problem, not the lid itself. So take that for what it's worth, but maybe get yourself some better lids than just the Ball lids, because they're not working very well anymore. And we put in way too much hard work here, canning our food, doing all of the processing work and the canning, and it's just not okay to have such high ratios of failure. We'll wipe these off with the vinegar, make sure there's nothing sticky on our rims, which I did do the other day as well. So I know it wasn't me, it was the lids. Put my lids on. Get our rings on. I think I'm gonna need an oven mitt to hold this because the salsa is so hot. We're gonna put this on fingertip tight. Get these into our canner. In my case, I'm just using a big stock pot with a canning rack in the bottom. Got mine at TJ Maxx if you're new, and it works fantastic for this. And TJ Maxx is for sure a really economical place to get a nice big stock pot. So on with the lid, turn our temperature up, and bring this to a rolling boil. This peach salsa is going to can for 15 minutes. We'll take our lid off, let it sit for 5 after we've turned our burner off, and then we'll get them out of the pot. Here are all my jars of peach salsa pulled out of the canner. I don't know why I was thinking I got 8 today. I got 7 that I canned. I have a partial one in the fridge, and then I have 6 from the other day that are sealed. And I thought I'd pull out the one that we put in the fridge the other day that didn't seal and give it a try together. I have had a bite of this. It's really good. I like it a lot, but I thought we could try it together and you could see what it looks like. So it is a little bit runny, but it's beautiful with all of the peppers and the cilantro. It has a really nice cilantro flavor if you like cilantro. I really like that about it, that flavor carries through. It's definitely a sweet salsa with those sweet peppers. Ooh, did you hear the jar pop? But it's definitely a sweet salsa because it's got those sweet peppers and the peaches and that little bit of honey. I definitely think the salt helps. It's my favorite sound, you guys. I think the salt helps balance things out a lot. So personal preference, I will always put the salt in. But here we go. Our home canned peach salsa. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will link this recipe down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.